Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to our Feel Well, Hear Well Lounge, our weekly forum for healthcare professionals so that we can recharge and renew and be inspired to give our best the week ahead. So tonight we have a speaker session, and we have with us to speak with us Dr. Kanishta Agarwal, and she's here to share a beautiful topic, planting the sapling of holistic wellness. And seeing as she's just back from India and full of fresh insights, I'm sure it's going to be a very inspiring program tonight. So welcome, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Kanishta, for being with us. And we look forward to hearing from you on this topic tonight. Om Shanti.
Good evening, everyone. And thank you, Sister Marilyn, for that lovely introduction. Yes, so today's topic, as you know, it's about planting the sapling of holistic wellness. And the reason why I chose this topic is because March is here and the spring is about to come. And what could be the better time than now to think about gardening? I'm sure most of you love gardening. And even if you don't love gardening or you don't have time to do gardening, everyone, I'm sure, likes to visit a beautiful garden, right? And if you are a gardener, if you are planning to create a beautiful garden, then even before you plant something in your garden, you make a choice. The type of flowers, the type of fruits that you want to see in your garden. But even before you make a choice, you have a vision. You create a vision of your garden. And this is this is how I want to see. This is how my garden should look like, right? But you know what? There is another garden that we can all create. That is inside. That's the inner garden. And in this inner garden that we all can create, we can go in this garden, we can visit this garden anytime, anywhere. So in today's presentation, I'm going to share with you few tips that you can use to create your own inner garden. And when you learn these tips and when you apply, then you will see that how your beautiful garden will grow. And then, to such an extent that others would like to visit your inner garden. So I would like to start this presentation through these reflective questions. Maybe you can take a moment to think about what type of inner garden do you want to create for yourself? And what is your vision of your holistic inner garden? How does it look like? And what would you do to bring your vision into reality? So you can take a few moments to ponder and see how your inner garden looks like. To start off with, I'll talk about the definition of wellness. What is wellness? According to the National Wellness Institute, wellness is an active process through which people become aware of, they make choices for a more successful existence. And this definition of wellness is actually based on 3 tenets. That wellness is a conscious, self-directed, and evolving process of achieving full potential. It is multi-dimensional and holistic encompassing lifestyle, mental and spiritual well-being, and the environment. And wellness is positive and affirming. So if we closely look at the definition of wellness, we will see that wellness is actually multidimensional. There are many dimensions of wellness. So what are those dimensions? Wellness, holistic wellness is comprised of mainly 8 dimensions. Physical wellness, that is about recognizing the need for physical activity, diet, sleep, nutrition. Basically, it is about having a healthy body with enhanced immunity. And then about intellectual wellness, that is mental wellness, that is about recognizing your creative abilities and finding ways to expand knowledge and skills. Then there is environmental wellness, that is about your environment, how pleasant is your environment that supports your well-being. And then there is emotional wellness. It is about how effectively you are coping with life situations, managing your emotions, and creating satisfying relationships with everyone. And then the financial wellness is about how satisfied you are with your current and future financial situations. Then there is social wellness, that is about how you feel the connection with others, belongingness with others. That is the social wellness. And then there is spiritual wellness, that is about your purpose, meaning, values in life. And lastly, occupational wellness, that is about how satisfied you are with what you do in your life for your living. So basically, these are the 8 dimensions of wellness, and all these dimensions, they are actually interconnected to one another. And, it's very important to have, all these different dimensions in harmony, because that is what is going to give us the feeling of optimum wellness. Here, I would like to also talk a little bit about one model that was proposed by John Travis in 1972. And then there are different modifications that happened, in 1988 and 2004. But basically, what he talked about is about the relationship of treatment paradigm and wellness paradigm in this illness-wellness continuum. Usually, what people believe, that if there is no illness, there are no symptoms, that means they are well. That means the absence of illness, that is what people think is wellness. But actually, the truth is that the absence of illness doesn't necessarily mean that the person is well. According to this continuum, as you see here, the central point, the neutral point, this is the point where the person does not have any kind of symptoms or signs of the disease. But if you move to the left side of this continuum, then you will see that, this is like progressively moving towards the worsening state of health, where person will have signs and symptoms and disability. And definitely when person is going through all these problems, he or she has to take the treatment, whatever treatment is needed, surgery or medicine or herbs or whatever type of treatment, complementary, alternative treatment person wants to take. Definitely treatment is important. But After the treatment is over, then the point is reached when there are no symptoms. That is the neutral point. But that doesn't mean that the person is completely healthy, completely well. Because, sometimes people, they keep thinking about things in their lives. They have so much of anxiety, so much of, unnecessary thoughts, worrisome thoughts. So their emotional wellness is not there. And that actually sets the stage for the disease, for mental disorders that people experience. So it's very important to really work towards wellness. So as you see here in the wellness paradigm, it starts from here and then it extends throughout. As you see here, from the neutral point, the right side is all about wellness. So just like there are many degrees of illness, there are many degrees of wellness. And the three things that you see here are awareness, education, and growth. All these three things are important to experience high level of wellness. But also, if we look at these two words, illness and wellness, closely, what do we see? That if we convert this I to we can change illness to wellness. It's so simple, right? But the thing is that, in today's world, everyone has iPhones and iPads and iTunes. In this I world, there is so much of I consciousness. People think about themselves a lot. So much of selfishness is there in today's world. Everyone is wanting and wanting and wanting. Instead of giving, everyone wants from others, right? And if they don't get what they want, then what happens? There is frustration, there is anxiety, there is depression, there is anger. So all these emotional turmoils. And because of that, what happens? There is sickness. So actually people, in a way we can say that people invite illnesses in their lives through their own emotions. But if we consider this, to convert I into we, that means if we start thinking about others instead of what I want, if we change our mindset a little bit and think about what others want, what I can do to help others feel good, so that way what we can get is the blessings from others. And when we get blessings from others, then these blessings will actually act as medicine. And we will see that our wellness, our degree of wellness will improve considerably. So it's very important to bring about this change from I to we. But the question is how we can bring about this change. As I had mentioned before, that there are many dimensions of wellness. Wellness is multi-dimensional. So some of the psychologists actually, they really looked upon these dimensions and they thought that there is one dimension that is very important. And if we work on that particular dimension, then it becomes easy to experience wellness in other dimensions as well. And actually, they have come up with a model. So I'm going to share with you a model that was described by Whitmer and Sweeney in 1991. And according to this model, spirituality is the essence of life. That means spiritual wellness. We have to focus on our spiritual wellness. That means if we are self-directed, if we work from inside out rather than outside in, if we focus our attention inwards, and from that space we interact with the outside world, then we can experience love, friendship, and we will be able to maintain perfect balance between our work and leisure. And then, everything else we will be able to experience very easily in our lives. But basically, the focus should be our spiritual self, what my spiritual self is telling me to do. So we need to forge a beautiful relationship with our inner self. But what is that inner self? Who am I? So these are the questions that are very important to understand. And especially if we want to convert I into we, then this question about who am I is very important to understand. So let's understand more about spirituality. So who am I? Who is that real I? As you see here, the bridge. So this bridge actually is what represents real I. That if we walk on this real bridge from this false I towards we, that means we want to convert I to we, then we have to walk over this real I. But because we are so much caught up in I consciousness that I talked about before, we have actually completely forgotten our original identity. What we think is that we are what we have acquired in our lives, right? We identify ourselves with our physical body. We say that we are human beings, but actually we focus more on the human part, and we forget, we can kind of not only forget, but actually we ignore the being part. Everything related to the human part, my name, my profession, my religion, my race, my nationality, my color, my position, all these are actually acquired. And that is actually the false I. We think that this is who I am. I am a doctor, but I am not a doctor. I am that being. But the doctor that I'm talking about is the profession. Similarly, if someone is saying I'm a Christian or I'm a Hindu, that is not the real identity. The real identity is that that I am the being. I am the being or the consciousness or the soul, whatever we want to call that entity as. There are many different names that have been given to that real I. So basically, we need this third I, the eye of understanding, to understand who we truly are. And we need to realize, we need to use our real eyes, the third eye of understanding, to know that I'm not what I see, but I am what is invisible. Because that being is invisible, that being is eternal, that being is immortal. Whatever we acquire in this life, is subjected to change over time. It's subjected to perish. This body is going to perish one day. But the being, the real I, is imperishable. It's eternal. It's never going to die. So that is the beauty. That is real I. So if I keep focusing on this real self, then what happens? All the anxiety, all the worries, all these emotions, I'll be able to handle very well. I won't have actually all these emotions, because then I'll be connected to the real I. And that real I, that being, is actually the source of all the beautiful qualities that I want to experience in life. We all want to experience love. We all want to experience happiness, joy, peace in life. But how to experience that? The way to experience these qualities is by making that connection with the being. So basically, if I want to create a beautiful garden within, then I need to sow the right seeds. And the right seeds are these spiritual thoughts. Or spiritual thoughts, they are the seed of holistic wellness. I need to connect to that being, and I need to continuously remind myself throughout the day that this is who I am. I'm a spiritual being. And not only just I'm a spiritual being, but everyone around me is also a spiritual being. So if we change the way we think, we see ourselves as spiritual beings, our awareness changes. And when our awareness changes, throughout the day we are aware that I am a spiritual being. So this awareness will help us change our attitude towards life. We see everything and everyone as spiritual beings. So our connection with others, our social wellness will definitely improve, because now we are not only seeing ourselves as spiritual beings, as loving beings, as peaceful beings, but everyone around us is also the same. So our attitude towards them will change. We will see them, our vision changes. We will see them as our brothers. We will see them as children of God. So our behavior will also then change. And when our behavior changes, our relationship changes, our relationships will become more and more harmonious. So see how, when we are spiritually connected, we experience spiritual wellness, and because of that, we are able to experience social wellness. We are able to experience emotional wellness. And then also, whatever we do in our life, we go to our work, at our job place, our workplace, we are able to connect with others in a beautiful way. So we will also experience, that occupational wellness, right? Our environment also changes, because then you are fully, creating that kind of environment where there is peace, there is love, there is happiness. So see how holistically you are able to experience wellness. And then when we are spiritually aware, one of the things that happens is that, we are able to have full control over our mind. See, our mind throughout the day, our mind goes in so many different directions. Here, I would like to talk a little bit about our mind. We can divide our mind into basically, two parts. As you see here, the picture of the iceberg. So what we see is just the tip of the iceberg. So the tip of the iceberg represents our conscious mind. And what we can't see, the 90% of the iceberg, that represents our subconscious mind. So, whatever information we receive from the outside world, we receive so much of information, but it's not easy for us to process that information. It is actually, subconscious. Our subconscious mind has tremendous capacity to process about 20,000 bits of information simultaneously. While our conscious mind, it can deal only with about 7 plus minus 2 bits of information at the same time. So when we speak about the power of mind, it's our subconscious part of the mind that really helps us to manifest whatever we want in our lives. I talked about the vision in the beginning. So if we want our vision to come into reality, it is the subconscious part of our mind that actually helps us to manifest that reality. So basically, whatever information subconscious mind receives from the conscious mind, see, throughout the day, we keep creating, the mind keeps creating so many thoughts, right? So whatever thoughts mind creates, that those thoughts, they're received by the subconscious mind. And the subconscious mind is actually, very obedient. Whatever information conscious mind, provides to the subconscious mind makes it, sure that, yes, I want to really, make it happen. So, in a way, we can say that the subconscious mind is really active. Even when we are sleeping during the nighttime, we are breathing, right? We are breathing, blood is circulating in the body, and, digestion is happening. So many, the metabolism, everything that is happening in the body is because the subconscious mind is actually working 24/7. So subconscious mind has the power to really help us, survive. So, if we provide the right type of information to the subconscious mind, then the subconscious mind will do exactly whatever your conscious mind is wanting it to do. So in a way, we can say that the subconscious mind is actually super fertile ground that can help you create a beautiful garden. So your conscious mind, we can say that the conscious mind is like a gardener, and your subconscious mind is the garden that has the soil that is very rich. You just have to put the right type of seeds. So here it is also important to understand that whatever seeds you are going to sow, you are definitely going to get the same type of the quality. The quality is very important. The quality of the seed is going to decide the quality of the fruit, the flowers. So if you are sowing a good quality seed, so good quality seed means good quality thoughts. And the best quality thoughts are, as I talked about before, the spiritual thoughts. So for example, in the morning, you get up in the morning and you are saying to yourself, I'm a spirit, I'm a peaceful being, I'm a loving being. You are continuously sowing these seeds. So what will happen? Over time, the subconscious mind will make that happen. You will become that. You will become peaceful in your life. You will become a loving being in your life. So you will start manifesting those qualities in your life. So that's why it's important to put the right type of seeds in your garden. So if someone is putting the seeds of negative thoughts, so as I said, the soil is very rich. So if you sow those negative, low quality seeds, so those seeds will then grow up. And that is what the person will manifest eventually. Person will become more and more anxious or worried or angry or whatever, So the choice is ours. What do we want to create in our inner garden? Whether I want to create a beautiful, garden in the form of, flowers, beautiful flowers, colorful flowers, or I want something else, right? So these are the seeds. Spiritual thoughts are the seeds. And yes, another very important thing is that, sometimes even our conscious mind is, like I said, it is connected to the outside world. So it becomes very mischievous because of the constant trigger that the mind receives from the outside world. So sometimes it's very important for the mind to be quietened. It's important for us to calm our mind. And this is what we do in meditation. We quieten our mind so that the owner of the garden, here it is also important to understand who is the owner of the garden. So owner of the garden is the being, the soul. So sometimes the owner of the garden has to sneak in and put the right seeds in the garden so that we get the right harvest over time. Okay. And when, after you have sown the seed or planted the sapling, it's also important to check whether really the plant that I want, that the plant is growing, the right type of plant is growing, or the weeds are growing. So what are the weeds? Weeds are in the form of unnecessary waste, self-defeating thoughts that we actually create because of the influence from the outside world. So we need to protect ourselves. That's another very important thing. In any garden, you have to protect your garden from different animals, right? So similarly in life also, if we want to protect our inner garden, then we have to stay away from what others think about us. Sometimes, sometimes people come and say something to us and we keep thinking. So there is one word that is, we learn in the practice of Raja Yoga, that is parchintan. That means thoughts about what others said. So we need to stay away from parchintan. And also pardarshan. Sometimes we keep creating images, not only what the person said, but all the scenes, all the drama, all those images. We keep bringing those images in our mind. So we need to stay away from pardarshan as well. And also parmat. People have different opinions. So we keep thinking about what others said, and then we have no control over that. So that is also important. So stay away from parchintan, pardarshan, and parmat. So what to focus on? We should always think about paropkar. That is, we should always do good to others. And then what else is needed to nurture your inner garden? You should be very, you should be very aware of who you truly are, like I said before. So that is the water of awareness, that I, the soul, am an owner. I am the owner of my own garden. So this awareness we have to maintain throughout the day. And then we have to keep putting the fertilizer of love. That is so, so important. We have to be very loving to ourselves. So we have to keep creating thoughts of love. And this is how we can nurture our inner garden. And then what else is needed is the sunlight. Yeah, so important. So who is going to supply the needed light to our garden? In the practice of Raja Yoga, we learn that God is the ocean of light. So we connect with that ocean and we feel as if God's rays, they are falling upon us, and whatever needs to be, whatever our garden needs, all the needs are being met, because that ocean of light has everything. Ocean of light is full with love, peace, happiness, all the beautiful qualities that we want to experience in life, that we can receive from God. And then we will always be full. because we are in the company of God, we will be able to grow our garden very beautifully with different colors, different flowers, colorful flowers of divine virtues and powers. And this is how we can create a beautiful garden. So now I will talk a little bit about neuroplasticity. I thought of talking about this because this is a very important concept that the neuroscience, that this concept has actually revolutionized the world of neuroscience. So here there are two words, neuro and plasticity. So neuro means neurons, that is the nerve cells that are the building block of the brain and the nervous system. Our brain and nervous system is composed of about 86 billions of neurons. And then this word plasticity, that means the ability of brain to change, which we can call as malleability of the brain. Brain is malleable. You know, in the earlier days, actually, scientists, they had thought that shortly after birth, brain cannot grow. That means there is no way new cells can be created. Neurogenesis is going to stop after birth. But then, you know, after this concept came up, concept of neuroplasticity, it was realized that brain has the power to change. Brain can adapt to change because of the new experiences. When we supply ourselves with new information, new experiences, then our brain has the capacity to grow. So in meditation, what do? You know, we provide our mind with good quality thoughts. And our mind and brain, they are connected, very close connection between our mind and brain. So whatever thoughts we create, our thoughts, they influence our mind. So there are actually structural changes, chemical changes that happen at the level of our brain. We can compare, you know, our brain with as if it's like muscle. Just like when we exercise our body, then we feel the change. Muscles, they grow, right? So similarly, the neurons, the nerve cells in our brain, they also grow over time. But what is the basis? The basis is our thoughts. And what type of thoughts? High quality thoughts. So see, if when we focus on our spiritual self, then we are able to even bring about change in our physical body as well. So there is physical wellness as well. And when, you know, these changes happen in our brain, so it is as if, you know, these are like new pathways that we create. You know, just like, you know, if you're walking in a forest, and in that forest, there is a path which is not that prominent, that visible. But if you are walking on the same path every day, then over time, you create a beautiful path which is visible. And that way, you not only benefit yourself, but you benefit others also. Others will also be able to walk on that path and see, you know, whatever they need to see. So similarly, you know, in the brain also, if you walk towards this path of spirituality, you supply your mind with beautiful thoughts related to the spiritual self, then you are creating very strong pathway. And over time, you know, this weak pathway, the pathways that were of no use, that means the path towards, you know, feeling low, feeling unhappy, feeling sad, you know, that path will eventually, it will become invisible. But the key is repetition. We have to repeatedly, every day, morning and throughout the day and evening, we have to remind ourselves who we are. If we repeatedly say to ourselves, I am a spiritual being, I am a happy being, I'm a loving being, over time, we become that. Our habits will change. The way we interact with everyone will change. And we become better and better and better every day. So this is how we can create a beautiful inner garden. And the mind, the body, and the soul, all these three will come together to create our harmonious self. And that is what is holistic wellness. And now, take home message. Wellness is an active process and multidimensional, with spiritual well-being, the heart of holistic wellness. Transformation of I into we is the key to spiritual wellness. Real I is the bridge towards transformation. Spiritual thoughts are the seed of holistic wellness. Subconscious mind is the fertile soil of our inner garden. Constant weeding of waste thoughts and ill feelings is vital. We need to protect our garden from the influence of others. We need to nurture our garden with the fertilizer of love and the sunlight of God. Very important to remember that we are the owner of our inner garden. And neuroplasticity and habit formation, they play a vital role in holistic wellness. So with this, I'll end my presentation. And now we can have a few minutes of meditation. Okay, so we have a few minutes left. So let's sit in meditation. Bring the vision that you created in the beginning of your holistic wellness garden on the screen of your mind. And use the power of your mind to turn this vision into reality. So stabilize yourself in this awareness that I, the soul, am a gardener, a creator of my own inner garden. With this powerful awareness, very gently sow the seed of this spiritual thought in the rich, fertile ground of your subconscious mind, that I, the soul, am a being of peace. I, the soul, am a being of love. I am a happy being. So nurture these seeds with the water of love. And allow your mind to create beautiful images of your inner garden. Now visualize God's rays falling upon your inner garden. And whatever weeds are there in the garden in the form of negative thoughts, ill feelings, the form of anger, hatred, resentment, or any form of weeds, they are getting burned. God's rays of love are filling your inner space, your inner garden with pure energy of love, peace, and happiness. And you begin to see your garden blooming with fragrant, colorful flowers. And the fragrance of peace, love, joy, hope, courage, they're spreading and reaching out to other souls of the world. Now you have created a beautiful, healing, wellness garden where every being is happy, healthy, full, and contented. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Kanishta, for that lovely, lovely and very nurturing session. I feel so motivated to be a good gardener this week and protect and not let any weeds get in there and make sure the fertilizer is right and that I'm planting the right kinds of seeds for myself, and that will obviously translate into better experiences for those that I encounter throughout the week. So thank you so much for that lovely session, and I hope all of you enjoyed that. And we will see you again next Sunday at the same time, 8 p.m. for our weekly forum. Next week will be our meditation session. So we look forward to having you join us for that. Thank you so much, and enjoy a wonderful week full of the fruits of your beautifully tended inner garden. Om Shanti, and good night, everybody.